Greetings, YouTube. Main Primitive here. October has come, and it's time for another monthly update. Well, it's been an interesting month. I feel as if I have not accomplished much, but there are many things I have done, and so I am reassured that at least I was not idle. The rain now comes and goes on a regular and nearly constant basis, and it feels as if for every 3 days that pass, at least one is marked by rain. The days are still mostly mild, rain or no, but the nights are now markedly cooler. I'm fairly sure that all the migratory birds have now left for the winter. As I sat by a freshly kindled fire one still evening, all bird song was conspicuously absent, and the silence would have been absolutely deafening, if not for the quiet crackling of the fire, which made the only sound within hearing. The bird song has returned, however, as winter residents have moved into the area or become more active. Among them, the black-capped chickadee has become quite prevalent. Apart from being the state bird, I have been told that they are harbingers of winter, and they do seem to have delivered autumn on their wings. Within the past week or so, there seems to have been an increase in the local raven population, and grouse and partridge are regularly heard drumming in the woods. The moose have gone into their rut, and can also be heard, bugling out their mournful calls in the evening. The whole forest has undergone a change as autumn arrived, and all who reside here have turned their thoughts and energies to their preparations for winter. I am nearly finished felling trees for my cabin. It will be a relief when that step is finished. I felled 14 trees using hand tools only, but the season progresses swiftly here, and so I have acquired a chainsaw to help the work progress more quickly. I really didn't want to, but I need to be assured of at least having all of my trees on the ground before the arrival of winter. Not to mention that I still need to peel all the logs, and preferably prop them off the ground so they can dry and season until next June. I now have 20 trees down, and only 7 left to go. The chainsaw allows me to double my daily output, and on average I can get 3 trees down in a day, and still have plenty of time and energy to see to my other chores and tasks. So there's just over 2 days left felling timber before I can rest easy. As bad as I feel about breaking down and getting a chainsaw, it does seem to be a good idea to at least have the option. Trees can and do regularly come down on the road, and it can take a good chunk of time out of laying in winter fuel wood. I assuage myself by considering that I am a one-man work crew. I do not have a town, village, or tribe assisting in the work, and the mechanical advantage offered by the tool helps to make up some of the difference. I have so far been able to get 2 logs out of every tree, and so I currently have 40 of the 54 logs I need. I have also begun preparing the construction zone and revamping my camp in order to stay as late into the season as I possibly can, and also to hopefully let me spend at least a little time at camp over the winter. I began by moving my tent and gear to another nearby clearing so that I could take down a few trees around my camp. These trees either were in the way of the cabin walls, were too close for comfort, or were otherwise frail, weak, and or posed a threat to the structure and safety, including one 35-foot hemlock. The result is that I have nearly doubled the size of the small natural clearing that I have chosen for the site, and I've already got half a cord of firewood for next year. I prefer close woods, and at first didn't feel quite right about it, but I have to admit I have a larger piece of sky above me now. I get more sunlight and a breeze which helps it to dry out faster, and that should help keep some of the bugs away. I will take my time and remove the stumps left behind periodically over the next year in the cases where they don't hinder construction. I have used some of these trees to begin construction of a sturdy lean-to which I'll cover with an insulating layer of brush and debris, along with a reflector to bank the heat of the fire into the structure. I'm hoping that it will be enough to take the chill out of late autumn and the edge off of winter's bite. I chose not to really document the lean-to construction as I tried a new way of building it and wasn't sure at first if it would work beyond the theoretical phase. Also, as it is not really a practical structure in survival terms, as the amount of materials and energy that go into the construction make it an expensive short-term investment. It works for me primarily because I was taking down the trees anyway, and due to my timbering operations I have plenty of brush and evergreen boughs for shingling and insulation near at hand. Otherwise, I have been keeping busy with the everyday necessities of life. I regularly take a day to focus on firewood. I try to gather and cut about 2 weeks' worth at a time. This ensures that I always have firewood handy without having to worry about it too much. I can break up the monotony of my routine from time to time, and prevent firewood from being a monotonous task itself. I have continued exploring the woods and learning some of their hidden secrets, meeting more of the creatures who also call them home. My wife continues to keep me well provisioned, dropping off rations when I need them, and it is good to have the excuse to see her. I have been spending a bit of time here and there helping a neighbor reflag his property line, a task I'm also working on myself when I can, as it has not been done in many years. The brush is thick and requires moderate clearing to maintain a line of sight for compass readings. Once finished, though, it will be a nice quiet footpath, and maintenance will be much easier than the trailblazing. The seasons seemed to change almost instantly, and one day it was autumn. The leaf change should peak here by about the end of next week, and it makes me sad to realize that before long I will be forced to move back to town for the winter. But looking back, it's good to see how far this past year has brought me. At this time last year, I sent my wife north and set to work renovating my house and wrapping up our affairs. By May, I had arrived in Maine and was settling into my new home. By summer I had set to work, and I now stand on the brink of completing the season's work, just in time for the Celtic Harvest Festival of Samhain, now called Halloween. And with the death of the growing seasons and the coming of the dark winter months, I begin to think of the coming year, and how much further yet it may bring me. Until next time, may your heart's compass lead you where you need to be.